Hello and welcome to Learn to Quiz. Let me start by asking you a question. Have you ever written an essay and felt that, sir, content to सब लिखा, पर marks फिर भी कम आ गए? And if that has happened to you, then this video is exactly what you. Because I believe scoring 35 or above in NABARD essay is not about writing more, but it's not about using difficult English, and it's definitely not about like memorizing the fancy codes and data and all. The real secret lies in how you present your ideas. And in today's video, I'll share the exact framework that can help you write a structured, examiner friendly essay for the NABARD Descriptive Phase 2 uh, uh, of this exam. Stay till the end because I'll show you how to transform an average essay into a topper essay because we will be comparing the two essays. So let's start the video. This video about how we can score maximum marks in the award where we have to write 600 word, 40 marks essay. So we know that in English descriptive was 100 marks and essay decides your ranking. So the key takeaway would be that you will need to understand how we have to design this framework. What is the examiner's secret of checking the multiple copies? What action we can take? And my note would what is my note that certain non-negotiable thing that I will be telling to you. So let's start first by understanding the biggest myths that are around the NABARD essay. So first is that the more I write, the more marks I will get. This is what many people does. They throw in all the knowledge, all the scheme data that they have in their mind without any proper structure. They expect they will get a good marks. That's not how things work. Now, what reality is there? It is that the analysis and the NABARD linkages work. You have to put rural development linkages. You have to write the agriculture aspect. You have to write what are the cons in whatever thing has been asked. What are the way forwards? What are the committees that are there? So you have to present it like an expert, but of course we are not an expert, but we have to show it. So there has to be a certain flow, and there has to be the interlinking of whatever you are writing. So the key takeaway would be that examiner rewards the structure over the knowledge. Please, I request you all, please remember this. Writing more or like lot of content is not the guarantee, but if you have a proper flow, for example, if I'm transitioning from one paragraph to another paragraph, there has to be a one hook line or the hook word which can link the previous paragraph to the current paragraph. And the transition has to be the smooth one. It should not be abrupt that I feel, oh, why this point has been highlighted when we were talking about something else. So that is what we call in essay a jump. You need to avoid this kind of jump. And I promise you, you yourself, if you read your essay, you would get to know that there is certain kind of jump. There is a lack of coherence in what you are writing. And that's where you start losing your marks. So the examiner secret would be like, don't write 600 but write 550 or 500 word, but please write what has been asked. There has been one aspirant who has shared his or her essay with me. It was about the agriculture and climate finance. So now person has written very good essay, but he or she wrote about the how climate change is impacting agriculture. But thing is that that was not what was asked. That's where we start losing the marks. You you just lost the core of what was asked to you. You have to write about the climate financing. What are the climate financing related to the agriculture sector? There are certain NABARD schemes also. There is KfW Development Bank of Germany which is working in tandem with the NABARD. If you go to the NABARD report, you will get what climate change related initiative at the finance level are being taken. So you have to write all those things, all the mechanisms in the Kyoto Protocol, in the recent UNFCCC meetings that are being held. You have to highlight those things, else you will not get marks. So the action would be please take your time, do brainstorming before writing an essay. Analysis is very important, please. So don't feel that vocabulary or like writing lot of words will get you marks. No. And also please stay with till the end of this video because I'm going to compare a topic, an essay topic where I'll show you how an average student would write that topic and how a potential topper student would write that topic. So we have clearly identified myths. More knowledge, more marks. This is the myth. Fancy vocabulary. See, I suggest you should use good vocabulary, but that is not the primary thing. If your content is not good enough, your structure and proper flow is not there, you are not going to get good marks, even though you have written like Shashi Tharoor level of vocabulary. It doesn't matter. It's secondary thing. More facts equal to high score? No. Longer essay score better? No. Generic introductions are fine. Never. Introduction, this will be one of my key point to talk about in essay. Because just imagine a situation that you are an examiner checking more than 300 copies in a day. How will you gauge that this person has written a good answer? You're not going to read every single word or every single line. No, that's not how they check. They are going to see your essay. If you just captivate their interest for a while, for let's say 10 to 15 seconds only, they will have a good impression that this person has understood what the demand of the essay is, and then he may like go on like neglecting one or two minute mistakes of yours that can give you a lot of leverage. So please, introductions are very, very important part in essay, and you have to like stand out from your competition. So the reality is essay analysis has to be there, clarity has to be there, relevant fact has to be there, interpretation wins. This is very important. Like I told you an example of this student, right? 600 words over 800 words. First two lines are very critical. This you have to understand. So what is examiner actually looking for? See, here we are to clear the exam. We are not here to like become a prolific writer or something. We just want to clear the exam and we have to understand what is that examiner is expecting from us. Because until unless you're not going to give him that, you're not going to get marks. As simple as that. We are here to fetch marks. We are here to clear this exam. That's it. So most important thing is relevance of the topic. Please try to understand what has been asked pinpointedly and then start brainstorming around those parts. Don't beat around the bush. Please avoid that. Then you have to organize your ideas. Once you have brainstormed about things, now you have to organize your ideas so that proper flow can be there. Like I have to, what kind of introduction I'm going to give, what will be my second para, third para, fourth para, fifth para, what are the advantages, disadvantages, way forward, what communities, what data, what case study, what is going to be there in the conclusion. Everything you need to have understanding and depth of analysis has to be there. You just can't go on writing the facts that Niti Aayog has said this percentage of the agriculture production. No. If this percentage of agriculture production has been there, what is the reason behind it? You have to go one level deep in order to make it like an analytic and an essay. Then language quality, definitely it's a test of your English language. So you have to like, you have to be grammatically correct. Also, decent vocabulary. I am saying decent vocabulary would work, but grammatically correctness is very important. That is where we start losing our marks. And I think for that, Grammarly and other app can help you. Just try to figure out where you are going wrong. So that is not the point of talk in this video, but probably if you have something else, we can. If you can comment in the video, I can talk about that also. In grammar and mechanics that we already talked. So what is examiner is looking for? What examiner ignored? Fancy vocabulary, they don't want the generic facts without interpretation. This is what I'm saying. Interpretation has to be there. Length without structure, emotional appeal. If you are like putting some anecdote in the introduction, but you just don't give any evidence to it, it doesn't work. And you are using quotes like everywhere. I have seen some people are like used to use quotes like in almost every paragraph. See, quotes are your ultimate tool. It's like a Brahmastra. You cannot go on using it every now and then because then it will lose its relevance. So if something is very unique that you have figured out, please use it very rarely and very like exact place where it is needed. Then it will be very impactful. So the key takeaway is that you have to be really relevant. First 30 seconds would decides your marks that you're going to get. Why most candidates score only 2025? Let us discuss that. Introduction has to be there, but they end up writing generic definition. If I am saying climate financing, they will like, what is climate financing? That's it. There's no impact. But what you can do, a topper would do, he will put an hook. He will start with some anecdote. This is what I do. I am like used to use an anecdote. I don't use data and quote. I use quote in body part, and most probably in conclusion, I use quote. Data I use in body, but anecdote is something which I use in essay. And I have been like in habit of using this in UPSC essay also, and I have been getting good marks. Then analysis has to be there. One-sided descriptive, no. You have to do multi-dimensional analysis. For example, pastel, political dimension, economic, social, technological, legal, environmental, many other things. And this is not hard and fast rule that you have to follow. You can come up with your own framework that can help you. But yeah, this is one thing that many of the people use. You have to put examples, vague and no names. So if you are creating like some example, you have to give some name to that farmer, like farmer Ramesh from Rajasthan. This makes certain impact. And structure has to be there. No clear section. You're writing whatever is coming into mind. No, you have to follow 7-part blueprint. We will discuss this later. NABARD linkage. Not much of NABARD linkage is required, but it should be like very uh, intellectually woven into the arguments that you are giving. For that, I think the one-stop solution is read NABARD report, find out the case studies, and understand it, and then use it. You will get very good marks. I can guarantee you that. And it's a very good repository of the case study, I must say. So while I was preparing for interview, I got to know about the this report, and my God, this report was literally full of very good initiatives that NABARD is taking, and like you can literally use lots of case studies from there. Of course, those are very big ones, but you need to like rephrase it in like 2, 3 lines so that your idea can also be conveyed and it also looks good. So that part you have to do. Then comes the conclusion. So there is abrupt summary, there is no linkages. This is where magic happens. This is what I use. Callback technique. In the conclusion, in certain line, I'll again, if let us say in anecdote, I have used the name of let us say Farmer Ramesh. Then in callback, I'll again use this line name Farmer so that the examiner will feel, oh, this person has linked it to the anecdote, and he will again be recalled about what introduction I have given. So if I have made a good impact on the examiner's mind through my introduction, I'm again recalling that thing so that he ends up giving me good marks. And this is how psychology of an examiner works. We have to play with that. Because until unless you don't understand how this game works, you're not going to win. And grammar, they definitely see it is the most important thing you have to follow. It should be like you have to be grammatically correct as much as possible. So thing is that focus on your structure, your presentation, and think what examiner wants. So what is that blueprint? Let us talk about it. See, first would be the introduction. Make your introduction very impactful. Then explain the context. Then do analysis. You can do multi-dimensional analysis. Pastel is one of it, but you can go on about using different analysis. Highlight the challenges, solutions, give solutions. This is where officer-like quality is reflected. Everyone can give the issues that are there in agriculture or certain other area. I'm just taking agriculture as an example to explain you things. You have to give a solution, and that's where you show your officer like quality. And remember, this 150 words analysis of this thing, now this will help fetch most of your marks. Let us talk about the introduction first. This is very important area. I always say I like if I have to write an essay, I take almost 25% of my time to think about what anecdote I'm going to write, and then and there only I will think about conclusion so that I can use the recall technique. And body generally I'm very comfortable because I have ideas. So reading all of these things, now you people will also have idea about what you are going to write. Thing is that introduction is something which you need to make it impactful. So So let's discuss about an average introduction. So I'm taking an example of agriculture subsidy. So this year we had an essay on this topic. I wrote about this topic. So average introduction would be like agriculture subsidies are financial assistance given to farmers by the government. They are important for India because agriculture is backbone of the economy. Is there something wrong in it? No, it is absolutely correct. But thing is that it is very generic in nature. Do not intrigue the examiner. Do not catches the examiner's interest. And that's where you just lost your marks, my friend. And how a topper would write. Let's see. Ramesh, a marginal farmer from Rajasthan. See, giving a persona, writing a place to make it specific in nature. It's not like you can put any name, any place, that doesn't matter. The idea has to be conveyed that you have understood the nitty gritty of agriculture subsidies. So Ramesh, a farmer from Rajasthan, has received 8,000 under PM Kisan, yet his debt grew by 40,000. Oh my God, that's a paradox. And that's where the examiner interest will be caught. The paradox defines India's subsidy debate. Who not burden? You can raise this question also. See how impactful this is. It is very specific. It is humanized form and raises the central question immediately because we all know agriculture subsidy has its pros and cons. And ultimately, it is the farmer who have to like bear the burden of these fiscal extravagance that is happening. So, what are the different ways? Let us say I'm comfortable in using anecdote, but maybe someone can't be. So, what you can do? You can go on using code. So, what Ambedkar has said on agriculture, you can use economic survey data. But then you have to, whatever you use is, you have to raise this question in introduction itself that what I am going to write in this essay. Now, this question explicitly explains everything that is going to become. So, now examiner would already be like intrigued because he will know that this person is going to write the agriculture advantages as well as agriculture disadvantages. So it conveys almost everything. So what are the different ways? Let's talk about that of writing an introduction. It can be an anecdote like we have written here. It can be a quote, very impactful, very subtle quote, data from the economic survey figure or NABARD report or some case study, or it can be current affair, recent policy or certain like update has been there. So your intro must raise the central question in 2 lines. Remember this, please in 2 to 3 lines, please try to raise the central question because we don't have luxury of writing 1200. We have writing like 600 word only, and that is maximum lines that you need to like catch the interest of the examiner. A human story in 1 line guarantees full reading. That's what I have been using, and it's been like working for me. So if you want, you can try. Now let us discuss how we need to generate the content, callback, and the golden formula. See, you can use different framework, and what can be those different framework? So you can write about the policy design level issue. If you are writing about, let us say, agriculture subsidy, what is the political level or the policy design level issue? What is its fiscal impact, and what is its social dimension? You can also write about the technological issues or how in agriculture inequalities are created because of these subsidies. So this is not just one framework that you can use. You can use multiple framework, but you have to think about first what I will say. Try to understand what has been asked, identify the core area, and then try to design things out of it. You write what is the context. First, try to write the context. Explain one paragraph, 3 4 line context. Then give pros, advantages, whatever you say. You don't need to write pros or advantages explicitly, right? Politically, this can be helpful in this. For example, this socially, it can be in making the society inclusive and whatever. So you can write these points, and after that, you can write like some phrases like all that glitters is not gold, and then go on writing that it has certain disadvantages also, and then you can write certain disadvantages in not in point wise format. Yeah, let me just explain what's one thing. So I was giving phase 2 examination, and there was a guy just beside me. So after the examination got over, he asked me question, how was it? I said it was good only. He said, yeah, mine also went good, and I wrote things in point wise format. The moment he said point wise format, I said to him, It's good that you have written in point-wise format, but essays are not meant to be written in point-wise format. Please, 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 I request you all, please remember this thing. Don't write essays in point-wise format. Essays are there to test your language, to test your coherence of your ideas. You have to write in small paragraphs, and those paragraphs need not to be more than 4 lines. At max 5 lines. Please restrict yourself. Your paragraph has to be like short, crisp, and convey the idea. And while you are transitioning to the next paragraph, what I used to do is before transitioning to the next paragraph, I used to read the last 1 or 2 lines of this my current paragraph so that I can make a proper flow of idea, and then I design my next paragraph accordingly. So in this way, you are continuously checking your paragraph, your logical flow, and that way you will not end up like making some mistakes, because interface is such that after you have written whole of the essay, it would be very difficult for you to make changes, especially 1 or 2 line changes. If you are going to make, it will be very costly, because many times what happens, the cursor, it goes to the last word and it starts deleting word from there, and it will append or add the word in whatever place you want. So it becomes very like hodgepodge for you, and in that examination pressure situation, handling all these non-examination related things, it might go wrong for you. So please try to avoid these things and do micromanagement. This will help. So while writing one paragraph, just give a proofreading then and there only. Read the last 2 lines of your paragraph and then decide what would be the starting line or starting word of your next paragraph. In this way, you can make the logical flow. These are the very small things, but see, I also improve my marks in UPSC essay by 14 to 15 marks through this way only. It doesn't take a lot of time. If you just write 2, 3 essays following this approach, you will definitely see an improvement. And please, if you see an improvement, please comment in this video, or please like share an experience in my Learn to Ace channel. So let's again come back to the issue topic. Issue is the agriculture subsidy. Okay, what is the cost? It is the distorted markets, dependency, etc. Impact, fiscal burden, farmer debt, and solution is DBT. So I'm not saying these are the points. I'm not here to give you content, but how you can think. What is the issue? What are its causes? What can be its impact? Impact can be multidimensional. Think about it. What are the costs? Costs can also be multidimensional. And solutions. What are the different committee suggestions? What is NABARD report suggesting in this area? What is the various high level working groups are presenting for this? Recently, BRICS meeting, agriculture meeting has been held in Indore. What has they presenting for like solving this agriculture subsidy issue? And also think about the WTO level issues for the subsidies. What are the different types of subsidy? But don't end up writing everything about WTO and amber box subsidy, blue box subsidy, green box subsidy. That is not the that's not like core of this topic, but yes, you have to highlight one of the issue associated with agriculture subsidy is the international level uh, uh, dispute sometimes that arrives, because many times Brazil and USA, they flag the concern that India is giving a lot of subsidy to its farmer, which kind of distorts the market, gives them an advantage in the foreign countries, and competitive advantage, I can say. So yeah, you have to mention those things also. And let me talk about the conclusion right here only, because this is very important thing I have highlighted for you all. See, conclusion, you can use fallback definition. Whatever conclusion has to be impactful, it has to be emotionally appealing, yet you have to back it with the evidence. What you can do, you can use sustainable development goal, you can use some famous agriculturist or economist, environmentalist, or some famous Indian personality quote what they have said about the agriculture, and link your introduction with that quote, and link your conclusion with that quote, sorry and link your conclusion with the anecdote that you have presented in the introduction, and also with the quote that you are writing in the conclusion. Also, you can use some data, and I used to use like language like this, like let us all come together and make India a sustainable agriculture, farming, and so this is just one line. I'm just providing you how you can go about like presenting an emotional appeal in your answer, and this actually works because you have provided all the evidences, data, facts in your body. You have been logically correct. You have presented all the important details that has to be there in the essay. And at last, if you present certain things that will actually help. For example, I used to paraphrase certain speeches. This is a speech from Jawaharlal Nehru during the independency. He said, ki, today I make Jawaharlal Nehru. So he said that let's make a tryst with destiny. So I rephrase that, let's make a tryst with destiny, that we would see an evergreen India with sustainable farming, having nutritious food across the hierarchy of the society, where everyone is healthy, no one is suffering from malnutrition. The India is at the top of agriculture production and sustainability mechanism. So you can like something like this. I'm not exactly remembering what I used to write, but yeah, this is how I used to like paraphrase things. I used to take certain speeches. Maybe it was Nelson Mandela's speech or Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech. So these are the some of the famous personality whose speech I used to like paraphrase. And there was one other thing from the dictator speech of Charlie Chaplin. That is a very impactful speech, and I used to use that speech in excerpt from that speech in various area where tech has been highlighted, and we have to highlight the issues with the tech. So there is certain line like we have increased our speed but search ourselves in, and so something like that. I'm sorry, I'm not able to recognize, but I hope you get my point. What I'm trying to convey here. So please think about these things. Use some quotes, use some case studies, and also see some speeches, excerpts that you can use. And if you want, I can also share some of those excerpts which I used to use in UPSC essay. I think I already shared certain things in the channel. Please go to the pinned comments in my Learn to Is Telegram channel. You will see certain things there, what has been my approach also. And that will actually help you a lot. And if it's not there, then please tell me, comment me, or like message me in the group itself. I'll share those quotes and these speeches excerpts that will help you a lot. Okay. So coming back to the point, what you were discussing. So we have to think like now are the proper toolkit. You have to, if I have to write this essay, then what points has to be there? See, rural development aspect has to be there. Farmer welfare income has to be there. Agriculture and productivity, digital inclusion technology, because many of the subsidies we are getting through the digital format, and livelihood, employment, climate resilience. Now it can be like positive, negative, both can arise in climate level aspect, financial inclusion, cooperatives and SHGs, etc. So these are certain areas which you have to always think in any of the essay that you are writing. Try to like jot down these points. Try to write at least 2 3 points around these themes. You can always include rural development area, what SHG cooperatives that you can do, how financial inclusion is happening, climate related aspect, and also how digital inclusion is happening, agriculture productivity. So these are the areas which can be used anywhere, but you have to, of course, be cautious about the topic that you are answering and what points from here are fitting over there. So these are the certain topic I have highlighted. Sorry, these are the certain areas of the point where you have to like put in the answer. Because these are the NABARD oriented topics. If you see the report, you will see these kind of things only there. So that actually creates an impact. So if you want, you can use certain points. So let us say there are 9 points over here. So you can use 3 4 points in your answer. This will help you like generating points. So advanced techniques examiner scoring ladle have a balanced criticism. This is very important. Even if they have asked about the issues, you should present it like the okay, there are certain issues, but there are certain pros also. And we have to be like balanced. This shows your maturity. So please don't go on like writing what has explicitly been asked, but also like you have to understand the implicit part of certain essay at times, and that will come with time, I can say. Policy linkage, use the scheme PM Kisan cases in NABARD. So it is about this topic only which we were writing. You can use certain mini case studies, and rule of three is like subsidy distort market, yield dependency, and delay model insurance. What is the rule of three? So if you write certain point, say what it does, what it does, what it does. Now I accept this thing that it can't be used everywhere, but try to like make things in this way only. If subsidies are there, then what can subsidy do? Subsidy can distort the market, it can create the dependency and delay the modernization. So this is how we have to think about all these things. So if there is no structure, generic intro, see why I'm coming back to all these things, because this is the most important thing. I know you all have content, you all can improve upon the grammar, but what is that examiner is looking for? How I have to write intro, how I have to conclude things, what I have to keep in mind while I'm transitioning to another para. Because content is something which you all are very smart, you can generate it very easily, and like you have been studying for this exam for certain months at least or years. You have all these points, but presentation is what matters here. And of course, grammar has to be there because that is the part of this English thing. So 20 to 40 marks, because if there is no structure, generic intro, zero analysis. 25 to 40 below average, there is some structure, descriptive, but it is not analytical. You have to go 1, 2 level deep. 30 to 40 is good because you have some NABARD linkage, you have special format, you have some case studies, tier sections, and 35 plus is like very good into hook intro, like in YouTube videos we make like book introduction. You have to make a multi-dimensional analysis, you have to use callback, conclusion, and NABARD lens throughout. And for this NABARD lens, that's why I gave you these points over here. These points. These will help you like putting in the NABARD perspective. There are certain thinkers you can always use. So this is just one example of thinkers that you can use, but you can go about searching different topics of the agriculture and what PY, or also you can go through the PYQ essays and generate the code repository and revise that and use it everywhere. So average versus topper essay, 35 plus checklist is that average essay introduction, very generic definition. Avoid this. They just list out the types. Okay, this is the advantage, this is the advantage. And why is that an advantage? You have to analyze that thing. And conclusion, government should balance subsidy. No, you have to make it like interesting. So topper would be like Ramesh from Rajasthan received this, grew this, and debt grew by this. Pastel based analysis, NABARD linkage, call back to Ramesh plus way forward. Examiner verdict, like if you have to get good marks and you have to differentiate your essay from others, you have to use these kind of it. See, these are the things which are very subtle and nuanced. And in order to make your essay stand out, you have to use this. Try to make this a habit, especially intro, conclusion, and body. You all know. The only thing I will say that please in body part have some logical flow, and before writing next paragraph, think what you are going to write and link that paragraph with the next paragraph. Or you have to create a transitioning line in the last paragraph so that it becomes connected to the next paragraph. The 10 non-negotiable things of the NABARD essay is like strong hook in production. You have to have a good structure. You have to have a pastel analysis. You have to have NABARD perspective. You need to put Google development angle. This is very must. And the relevant facts has to be there. Definitions, you can use some quotes, really like one or two contextualized basis. You have to have balanced arguments, callback, conclusion, and final grammar check. Grammar has to be there. So trust me, when I say like 35 plus marks, not like 35 only, it can be 30, but 30 plus is not a luck. It is the result of a repeatable framework and what you need to do in order to impress the examiner and not to impress yourself. So the key takeaway is just inculcate all these habits, write 2, 3 essays, and deliberately think upon these areas. And then please share your essays with me. And I'll not be going through the content or the grammar, but I'll look at the structure, look at the introduction, conclusion, the body part, how you have. And also, if you are sharing your essay, please share me a rough sheet where you have brainstorm your ideas. In that way, I can get into your brain and understand what has been your thinking while deciphering what has been asked of you. So please do that diligently in order to improve your essay marks. Now I'm going to compare two essays on the same topic. So 10 marks difference. Two people writing the same essay, but how is this a huge difference being created? See, the structure that we have discussed, that is the main reason for this 10 marks difference. And let's just directly go into this thing. First is the introduction. First impression will decide your score. Remember this thing. So average candidate, simply definition. Okay, cost of cultivation increase in agriculture production. India has a various subsidies. You can just pause it, man. I'm not going to read it. Just pause it and look at it. This part. You will see that this is very generic. Sounds like a textbook definition. There is no curiosity, no analytical direction. You will score like 3, 4 marks out of 10. How a topper would write, I'll just dictate it. See. It's very interesting. I want to read this for you. As dawn breaks in a small village of Rajasthan, farmer Ramesh switches on his subsidized electric pump to irrigate his field. See, subsidized electric pump, Ramesh and Rajasthan. Specificity, humanized form. The subsidy has come into the picture in first line itself. While the subsidy reduces his cultivation cost and protects his livelihood, it also encourages excessive groundwater extraction. Now I have highlighted the issue with this thing, threatening the sustainability of agriculture itself. Ramesh's dilemma mirrors India's larger challenge. Agricultural subsidies have played a crucial role in ensuring food security, farmer welfare, yet concerns regarding fiscal burden, environmental degradation, and market distortion contribute. See, rule of three: fiscal burden, environmental degradation, and market distortion clause. Therefore, the question is not whether subsidies should exist, but how they can be redesigned to balance productivity, equity, and sustainability. Again, rule of three: productivity, equity, and sustainability. Why this scores high marks? Because it's a human story and context creates the immediate engagement. It's a balanced viewpoint. This creates the curiosity and this very clear, arguable thesis statement. This is how you have to write the introduction. I hope you got my point. Please be with me till the video. I know video can be longer, but this is going to be very helpful for you. Now let us see about the context building. Depth versus the surface. If someone is building context that agriculture is an important sector, a large population depends on it for the livelihood, therefore the government provides subsidies to help farmers. So the context part would be the second paragraph. Subsidies are important because agriculture faces many challenges such as low income and uncertainty. Now, examiner problem is that these are the obvious statement. There is no depth, no historical perspective. Historical perspective is in like how we have come into this situation from ship to mouth situation to this situation. You should provide certain clarity about this thing. There is no policy context. How a topper would write, let's see. Since the Green Revolution, now this has created certain historical context. This would be my second paragraph, okay? Agricultural subsidies have served as a cornerstone of India's food security by making fertilizer, electricity, irrigation, and credit more affordable. Subsidies contributed significantly, transforming India from a food deficit nation into one of the world's largest agricultural producers. However, changing economic realities, climatic concerns, and fiscal pressures have reignited discussions on whether the current subsidy architecture remains suitable for 21st century. Now, historical context is there. You have provided policy linkage, establish the contemporary relevance, and this is smooth transition into analysis. So, first part intro, second part context setting. How we have to do context setting? We got this idea. Now we will go into the analysis. Pestle one. What are the causes for it? Or what are the advantages for it? We'll write the pestle analysis. Then we do what are the issues with it? How we can solve this thing. And then finally the conclusion. So analysis. Description versus true understanding. See, analysis is very important part of your essay and it's going to be like between like 15-25 marks part. And you need to like think what you are going to write before writing. The average candidate, what you will write, every agriculture subsidy help farmers, they reduce production cost, increase income. Farmers can buy soil, fertilizer, and seeds at cheaper rates. Subsidies also increase production. However, subsidies cost a lot of money for the government. They may be misused. Examiner view would be just a description. There's no analysis, no cause effect thing. Analysis isn't cause effect thing or pestle analysis. No deeper understanding. The candidate just listed out the facts but not connected them. Are these facts connected? No, you have to connect these facts. This in turn leads to this. We have also it causes the issues like this. Additionally, it causes this. You have to present it like that. We now see how a topper can do, right? Agriculture subsidy generate both economic and social benefit. Okay. By reducing input costs, they improve farm viability. Now, input cost reduces, then what advantage it will give? It will give us this advantage, this kind of advantage. Farm viability, particularly for small and marginal farmers who constitute the majority of India's agriculture workforce. Subsidies also contribute to food security by encouraging agriculture production and stabilizing the rural income. However, prolonged reliance of input. See, this is just a mere snippet of how you have to write the point that is advantage, and then you can have to like contradict that there is certain issues with it. Or you can go on writing all the advantages, then there's a disadvantage that can also work for you. So, however, prolonged reliance on the input-based subsidy has produced unintended consequences. For instance, now there are different way of writing illustration. For instance, for example, just use different vocabulary that will help you a lot, so that to avoid monotonicity. Subsidized electricity has encouraged excessive groundwater extraction in several regions, while fertilizer subsidy have often led to imbalanced nutrient usage, adversely affecting soil health. Furthermore, these are the hook words you have to use. Furthermore, however, moreover, additionally. Furthermore, rising subsidy expenditure constrains fiscal space that could otherwise be invested in agriculture infra, research, marketing. Thus, while subsidy address immediate vulnerability, their long-term effectiveness depends on ensuring efficient and sustainable utilization. So this is important because it is highlighting benefit, drawback, cause effect relationship, balanced perspective, economic and environmental analysis, and the genuine policy understanding. Then multidimensional thinking, how you can do 25, 35 mark. Please see here. You can give the economic dimension that it improves farm profitability but increases fiscal burden. Social dimension that it protects vulnerable farmer, reduces rural distress and inequality. Environmental dimension, it encourages overuse of water and fertilizer, degrading soil. Climate resilience dimension needs reorientation towards sustainable agriculture. Rural development dimension, and similarly, you can write about technological dimension also. How these things can be redesigned through direct benefit transfer and precision farming incentives. Also, you can use here financial inclusion dimension. So many dimensions you can use it. Try to use at least 5 to 7 dimensions in your analysis part. That will help you a lot. And try to keep every dimension point like within 2 to 3 line or 3 line at max. Otherwise, you may end up like wasting words. So yeah, you have to like keep that thing in. Now, though we have highlighted the issues, we have to provide some solutions. So specificity is the most important. So if an average candidate has right, what he will write is government should improve subsidy. Okay, this is not conveying anything. It should ensure the subsidy reach the right people. Okay, there should be better monitoring and implementation. Okay, I mean I'm not intrigued by what he's writing. It's very generic and applicable to any topic. Like if I just change the subsidy word to any other word, it is still applicable everywhere, right? And it's weak and forgettable. How a topper would write, and that is very important. Solution is that rather than eliminating subsidies, India should focus on reforming them. First, this is how you can write. First, a gradual transition from input-based subsidy to income support mechanism can improve efficiency while preserving farm welfare. Second, tech-driven DBT can reduce leakage and improve targeting. Third, subsidy should increasingly incentivize climate resilient practices like this, and this. Finally, greater investment in agriculture extension services and farmer producer organization can reduce long-term dependence on subsidy. Way forward. You don't need to write way forward explicitly, please. Okay. Just remember that. The future of the agriculture policy lies in transitioning from a subsidy-centric approach to empowerment-centric approach. Very well. By combining targeted support with investment in tech, market access, irrigation efficiency, climate adaptation, India can create more productive, resilient, and sustainable agriculture ecosystem that benefits both farmer and future generation. Now, this is very interestingly written. Right? because it is very specific, actionable, future-oriented, policy-focused, and demonstrate the long-term development thing. If you are just not telling what government should do, you're also highlighting what they can do, how they can do. That creates a very big good impression on the examiner. Lastly, it's about the conclusion. The lasting impression is very important. Conclusion, because now we need to like tell the examiner, okay, you were intrigued by my introduction. I'll again tell you that my introduction was good by callback technique. Apart from that, you can also use SDG, committees, some quotes, some excerpt from the speech, make it emotionally appealing. That will help you a lot. So you have this is the final opportunity for you to leave an impression. So what an average candidate would write that in conclusion, agriculture subsidies are very important for farmers. The government should continue them because they help agriculture and increase production. Therefore, subsidies are beneficial for the country. It's not making any sense, right? Now this is what I say. It's going to help us. Conclusion. For farmers like Ramesh, agriculture subsidies remain an indispensable lifeline in face of uncertainty and risk. Yet, true agriculture transformation cannot be achieved through subsidies alone. The challenge before policymakers is not to choose between farmer welfare and sustainability, but to harmonize both the objectives. So you can't just go on negating that we don't need subsidies. We need subsidies, but we need reform subsidies. By redesigning the subsidies to promote efficiency, equity, and environmental stewardship, India can ensure that agriculture support becomes a catalyst for long-term rural prosperity rather than a source of perpetual dependence. It's a very good conclusion, right? Callback, balanced viewpoint, policy maturity, memorizable ending, and strong final impression. There's a very good potential of scoring good marks. So just remember all these things. It is going to help you a lot, and so multidimensionality is going to help you. Some if you can give some policy context, human-based story, some vision, some info, some callback, all of these things. I'll request. I know this is a lot to say in essay and difficult to implement. Trust me, it was difficult for me also. But as I wrote 2-3 essay of 1200 words, I got the grasp of what I am going to score. And the magic happens during the brainstorming. If you have understood the topic, if you have like dissected the topic and into several small components, highlight cause and effect, and what are the codes, what are the data you are going to add, how you are going to structure your things, what thing will come first, what will come second, what will come third, and there's a logical flow and conclusion is impactful, introduction is impactful. I think you're definitely going to score a good marks in essay. Of course, you have to be grammatical correct because even though if you are writing very good essay and grammar thing would like be it would penalize you heavily. So please keep that thing in mind. And I hope that you like this video. And if you like this video, then please I request you all please share my channel with your friends as much as possible. I want a good reach because that will also act as a motivation for me. I'm not getting much time as of now, but I'm planning to like put videos regularly on my channel. And also, if you are new to this channel, then please subscribe to this channel. I'm sharing things from my own personal experiences. All these things, preparation takes a lot of time, and I'm putting genuine efforts for you all. Hope you realize these efforts, and I hope you follow these points while you're writing your next essay. And please share experience, share your essay with me in Telegram channel. I'll be going through all of your answers. In recent past also, I've been checking the answers that you all are posting in my Telegram channel. So till then, take care, all the best, study hard.